Hi, and welcome to today's video. We are going to talk about why weight loss is all in your head. And I'm here to talk about the fact that it is literally 100% mindset. So in today's video training, what we want to discuss is why our mindset is not only critical to physical transformation, but is probably the most important element to the success of our weight loss journey. So let's go ahead and start out by asking the question, is weight loss more mental or more physical? Now I'm here to tell you that losing weight is much more mental than anybody could ever imagine. Now a lot of experts are going to tell you that, the traditional way of losing weight is all you need to do. You just need to eat less and exercise more. But here's the thing. If that were the case, why are there so many people who struggle to even lose 10 pounds? And they may eat clean and they may eat healthy. Many of them might even fast or work out regularly or perform exercises, or maybe they even have jobs that they're very, very physically active, and yet they struggle to lose weight. So first of all, before we get into too much, I'm going to say that as far as the chemistry of your body is concerned, that it's all about chemistry. And I want to use a few analogies to kind of help create the picture. So let's talk about building a bonfire. Let's say that you had a massive amount of firewood. You had a big old truckload of firewood, and you had a box of matches. Well, together that makes for one big bonfire. There's a lot of energy that we can produce out of that. But let's now change the chemistry just a little bit. And this is a big component that so many people, miss or mistake, or they don't even know about it. But let's say that we have all that wood and it's wet, or maybe the matches are wet. And so we just add a little bit of water to the situation, and now we've changed the chemistry, and now everything's all wrong, no more bonfire. So what if the wood is dry but the matches are soaking? Same result. Or maybe the matches are dry but the wood is soaking. Well, anyways, you get the idea. So if the chemistry is not right, if one ingredient is off, then it changes the entire situation. But what if 90% of the ingredients are off? So let's talk about having an ideal body. Now, of course, we're talking about losing weight and losing the fat and getting fit and getting trim. But you have to look at the whole picture. You have to look at the physical, the mental, and the spiritual reasons why you're going after the goal of the ideal body. Now, many people just make the mistake that only focusing on the physical component, they think that is enough. They think diet and exercise, diet and exercise. Now, I'm going to tell you that only about 10% of what you do is diet and exercise. And that's all you have to focus on is 10% to get your ideal body. But in reality, that 10% is being relied upon on the other 90%. So, we talk about eating, we talk about maybe the exercises that you do or you don't need to do or that you like to do. That 10% is important, but if you don't have the right mindset, then you're going to fall into the old behavior patterns of not eating right, and certainly of not thinking right. Focusing on the macronutrients, for example, that's an important thing to do, but what if you don't know about them? What if you don't know which ones are good for your body? What if you don't know what part of that chemistry mix makes it so that your body either stores the fat or just poof, burns it all like crazy? Now, all of these things of the actual doing are 10%. But it is the mental and the emotional side of getting into an ideal body. And that's where 90% of the focus should be. And so the answer to the original question is yes. I mean, consider this simple idea. The vast majority of us really realize that in order to be healthy, you must eat healthy foods, and you have to move your body in a certain manner that keeps us healthy and keeps us limber. So what do people struggle with? No, it's not the lack of knowledge. I mean, people know that they should eat better and they know that they should move more, but they don't do it. Why? Well, it's because of the application on the mental and the emotional side. So when you consider a lifestyle change, this is much more mental and emotional of a challenge than it is a physical challenge. So let's talk about the emotional connection to food and how powerful that really is. When you start to change your diet, for example, your body's going to go through some natural withdrawal symptoms. In fact, whenever you change any habit or any pattern, there are times where you're going to miss the old way of doing things. And you have to ask yourself the questions, why? Why do we go through a type of withdrawal phase? Especially if we keep sliding back into it. And especially if there's something that we want to change in the first place. You know, I talk to people a lot who have struggles with toxic relationships. It is very, very clear that they shouldn't be married to the person that they're married to, or in a toxic boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. And sometimes they go through years of arguments and trauma and being yelled at and verbal abuse. And while they're in that situation, they're saying, get me out of this relationship, but then it happens. And then there are moments that once the relationship has been severed, that individual sits there and thinks, gosh, you know what, I sure do wish that person or miss that person. So why is that? You know, the human mind has the ability to fall into old habits. It hates a vacuum. So the brain thinks of repetition, and sometimes familiarity is good, but sometimes familiarity is really bad, and sometimes it creates unhealthy bodies. And so what we're doing is we're trying to change that. Now, some people are truly addicted to food, for example, and just asking them to go cold turkey has about as much effect as asking an alcoholic not to drink anymore, a drug addict not to do drugs anymore. I mean, they could go cold turkey, right? It's possible, but it's probably not probable. So what if you are an emotional eater? What happens when you have cravings? What happens when you're not consciously thinking about your diet and you just fall back into your old habits? Well, I want you to think about this. As human beings, we celebrate, and how do we celebrate? We celebrate with food and with drink and with dessert and cookies and that kind of stuff. And sometimes when we're feeling bad, we have a habit of going to the refrigerator. We rely on food or drink to satisfy the cravings. So if you're an emotional eater and you know that you shouldn't eat that stuff, but you have that emotional sadness, or just the habit of going to the pizza or a bag of chips, how do you control that? How do you combat that? I mean, some people have very stressful jobs and they get home and they just need a beer, or some people just need chocolate or wine or whatever it is that you're needing. So just so you know, I grew up in a family where, the vast majority of my family members are obese. And that's not only brothers and sisters, but that's also, aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews. And they were certainly overweight on average. And when we get together, there's nothing healthy that we eat, but we like to get together because we're family and we love each other. We want to spend that time together. But what is there most of the time? There's potato chips and soda pop and hot dogs, and the list goes on. And if you're trying to make a change to not eat all that stuff normally all the time, I mean, it's more emotional and mental than it is physical. So what do you really need to succeed? Well, there are three things that you need to succeed. You need encouragement, you need empathy, and you need love. Now, you need someone or a group to sometimes let you know that you're not in the fight alone, that you're part of something bigger than you, that you may be doing it to take care of your body, but you're doing this to take care of your body to serve humanity. And many people don't ever get the feeling that they're worthy of this type of support. Well, I'm here to tell you that you are, and in the Ideal Monthly Body subscription, that's exactly one of the reasons why I created this. So sometimes we have to build our self-esteem up to the point where you just think that you're worthy enough to have a healthy, fit body. So one of the reasons that we obviously feel this way is that we feel judged. We feel that even in our attempts to lose weight or to get healthy, many of us feel insecure and we have a lack of self-confidence. So one of the daily tasks that you're going to need to do each and every day when you're by yourself is to feed yourself positive affirmations, is to give yourself positive talk. Now, I am not just a positive talker. There's a reason and a purpose behind things, and if you don't understand the reason and the purpose behind it, it's just kind of a wish more than anything. But there are sometimes things that you can say, like, I can do this. And sometimes you can say, I'm learning the steps in the process of what it looks like to live in a healthy body. And if you join the Ideal Body monthly subscription, you're going to get a lot of what that is, a lot of positive feedback, a lot of this is how you do this is how you do that. Because I know that motivation is the key in order to become and stay motivated, right? So the Ideal monthly subscription is not only filled with constant motivation and encouragement, but it's also going to teach you the other 10%. It's going to teach you the right foods to eat. It's going to teach you what macronutrients you should look for that your body needs in order to have your chemistry just right. And the list goes on and on. Now, one of the things that you're going to accomplish is how to become true to your word. So if you say that you're going to do something, I just want you to do it. You need to do what you say you're going to do. And when you follow through with your word, it's going to give you a great sense of pride, and it's going to increase your own self-worth. I mean, even if it's just little things. And I want you to think of this question for a second. What do you think the birthplace of self-worth is? Now, I don't know exactly what the answer is, but I would say that if you can do what you say you're going to do, that is going to make a major difference in your life and in your own self-worth. And so when you say that you're going to get an ideal healthy body, one of the things that we have to work on is your purpose. What is your purpose in getting healthy? Now, sometimes people start out by they finding a purpose in being healthy for the kids, and that's wonderful. Sometimes it's for our job. But rarely do we make it about us, just for us. Most of us need a shot or a booster shot of self-confidence because we don't think that we can do it, or we don't think that it's possible for us. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is another reason why I created the Ideal Body monthly image subscription. You have to be in some position where you look at yourself in the mirror and you make a promise to yourself, and then you keep it. And when you do, there are all kinds of positive neural connections that are going on in that brain of yours, and all of them are positive. And the reason that we focus on positive affirmation is to give us the courage and the motivation that we need when things get difficult, to get us through that next hour, to get us through that day until it becomes a habit. Plus, many of us live our lives not giving ourselves the credit that we actually need or deserve. So we're really kind of hard on self. And you know that old saying, we're our own worst critic? Well, that's true. I mean, your words have power. Words have power. Your words to yourself have power. They can change your beliefs. You can literally change your body at the cellular level when you learn to talk positively about yourself. We know that through countless scientific studies. It is important that you talk to yourself out loud sometimes. I talk to myself out loud sometimes because you have to be able to hear it with your own ears. You must be able to say it with your own mouth. And sometimes just saying the words, I can do this, I can do it, that it's enough to change the direction of your life. So saying positive words to yourself can help you set up for positive wins in every area of your life. So here's the major challenge that many of us have. That is talking about our feelings or being vulnerable when it comes to body issues. Now, many of us grow up in a world where religion or our families were very dominant, and we were taught that there's not a whole lot of room for error, and we don't make mistakes. And if you do make a mistake, you're not going to get a hug, or you might get yelled at or something to that effect. So if you do something bad, well, what are we taught? Well, we're taught shame and guilt. And one of the things to learning how to succeed in both the big and the little things in life is learning how to manage our expectations. You have to learn how to manage your expectations on everything. And so one of the components about expectations is to take the approach that things happen for a reason. When you find your purpose in life, that actually makes it easier. So we have to get to a point where everything, good or bad, is a label that we put on an experience, but every experience that we have has made us better. And if it hasn't made us better, we just need to look a little bit deeper, because it's made us better for the greater good. So often we suffer in life because of the old way that we see ourselves. So if you see yourselves as a failure, you're going to actually find yourself doing failure-like things. And if you see yourself as somebody who wins, you're going to find yourself doing things or in situations where you feel like a winner. So how you approach your body or your job or your relationships, they all start with your viewpoint of you. So part of the success that we will or will not have is primarily dependent upon the love that you have for yourself. Do we love ourselves enough to give ourselves the chance to change? Now, I'm not talking about kind of the new age, like peace and love and, hug everything, and that's well and good. But I'm just talking about just the thought process of you loving yourself to say, you know what, I am overweight right now, but I deserve to live in a healthy body. I deserve to not have this excess weight on me. I deserve to feel belly. I deserve to not feel this pain. So, why would we not love ourselves enough to get to that point? Well, the only reason that I can think of is that we carry around too much shame and guilt. These are low vibrations, and they're heavy vibrations, and they keep us trapped. There is no finish line to a healthy body, so you have to work on it every day. So just as well, there's no finish line to a healthy self-esteem either. That is why what is ideal today is something that we're also going to have to work on tomorrow. So we must develop an expectation that we are always going to need to work on something about us. So here's how I see it in part. First, the negative aspects of ourselves are the shame and the guilt and all the negative thoughts that we generally beat ourselves up with. But our mind and our habits are like a muscle. If you don't use the muscle, what happens? Over time it atrophies. So the same thing happens to our mindset. Getting your body into a healthy state is not just physical. There is more mental and emotional and a lot of spiritual work that has to be done into it. Now, if we don't work on the non-physical aspects of us, then this is just going to be another diet or just another fitness plan that you do for 30 to 60 days. So when you're working on all of you, this is where you feel and believe that you're truly fulfilled. Now, Tony Robbins has a wonderful saying that I like. He said that success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Now, I know a lot of people who have just amazing bodies. They're fit and they're trim. Yet they're miserable and they're sad. Why? Because they haven't focused on the mental or the spiritual or the emotional sides of themselves. They've done a great job putting that body in place, but they're unhappy. So one of the things that people can do to help themselves is to create a daily gratitude list, for example. The starting point is to be happy and to be grateful for the things that you do have in your life. Many people think that the journey's end is where they become happy. And the truth is that the goal in life is always moving. We have to develop a mindset that we're never going to finish. It's always a work in progress. We are a work in progress. One of my favorite mentors is Wayne Dyer, and he passed away a few years ago, but he has a great book on intention. So what I started to do about the time that I was losing weight is when I would first wake up in the morning, I would lay in bed and I would just set my alarm on snooze, and I would take that 5 minutes not to get up but to stay in that trance mode and just be grateful. Grateful for the sheets of my bed, grateful for my pillow, grateful for the feeling, the warmth and the comfort, that feeling that I have opportunity that particular day. And I live my day in intent. Everything that I do, I try to focus. What is my intention? Going to the restroom, what is my intention? Eating food is my intention. Writing an article is intention. Going on a walk has intention. So what is your intention? My intention is to be grateful. My intention is to feel good. And I choose to do only those things that make me feel good. And eating healthy things make me feel good. So the source of true happiness is not found at the finish line. It is found in the ritual, not the event. So the purpose of a daily gratitude list is to teach us how to be happy in the here and now while we're working on a better version of our future self. But the important thing is to focus on the here and now. So I want to talk about reading and mindset together. There's an old saying that we become the person that we are based upon the books that we read, the movies that we watch, and the people that we hang out with. So as you go through a transformation journey, you have to ask yourself, what is it that you want out of life? What do you really want to achieve with a healthy body? What would you do differently? You know, would you walk outside more? Would you go on more picnics or have a hike with your family? I mean, new clothes. I mean, what would you do with the ideal body, the ideal weight? So you truly have to identify with a purpose in your goals and in your objectives. And there's an old saying by Lucius Annus Seneca, the Roman philosopher, and he said that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Now, if you think about that, that is true. I mean, scientists also know that when we look at our memory of the past things, that we most of the time we don't even have it right. In fact, most scientists that study memory say that about 50% of our memory is distorted or we filled in holes. So when we look at that saying that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, we always build up these walls. We create these expectations that aren't really there. I mean, we look at doom and gloom and we think that the world's going to end sometimes, but the morning still comes, the sun still rises the next day. And so we have to figure out ways to enjoy the journey. So let's talk about dieting. A lot of people really get hung up on dieting and it makes their lives miserable. And I want to say that there is no diet that is perfect for everybody. So you know what the key to dieting is? Is to find a diet that works for you. Long term, only long term. It can't be short term. If you just want to lose weight for, 10 pounds or whatever, you can starve yourself for a few days and lose the weight, but that isn't going to make you ideally healthy or give you the ideal healthy body. So there is no one size fits all diet. You have to learn what works well for you, and something that you're going to have to learn for the rest of your life. It is simply finding out what works for you. It's another factor of your expectations and how they need to be centered on the fact that it's a journey and not a destination. Your lifestyle takes a little bit of time to figure out all the pieces that you really want and how to implement them. Remember the chemistry. We have to figure out the chemistry. And so sometimes that match that ignites this may be the way that you're eating. And this may be the way that you're thinking. And when you get that out just right, boom, you can have a fat burning party and just watch the fat melt right off you. So one of the biggest factors in choosing a diet is, one of the most important things about choosing a diet or to eat in a certain way is inflammation. And inflammation in our gut specifically, and that means how healthy is our gut. A lot of diets don't even focus on the health of our gut, meaning the bacteria, the microbiome. That is part of the chemistry mix, and you will learn that in the Ideal Body series, because what ends up happening is old programming where we're infiltrated with the idea that we need to eat a certain amount of caloric intake per day or to eat 3 meals a day. All that stuff is, I don't even know why it's being pushed. Well, I know why it's being pushed. It's being pushed out there because people are making money off of it. And even though it's not successful, and we know it's not successful because the weight loss in the diet industry is now over $70 billion. It's growing and growing. And Americans are getting fatter and fatter and fatter. Now 7 out of 10 Americans are considered overweight or obese. So it's definitely not another diet or exercise program. It's proven not to work. So how can you eat what you want and not make it a problem and have that perfect chemistry? Well, that is something that we got to figure out for you. And so it's all about intention. For example, if you want to drink a beer because you're going to enjoy it because it's been a very long weekend, you want to celebrate with your friends or family, but you do it, but you don't do it drinking by yourself and putting yourself in a situation that's going to make you feel guilty. So you have to ask yourself, why do you do the things that you do? You have to continue to fight on a daily basis, so why do you do those things you do? You know this, right? So it's important that you move your body in a certain manner. There are certain things that you have to do every day. Life goes on, so you have to do it. Now, even when it comes to like lifting weights or cardio exercise, I don't like either one of these things for losing weight. Now, after a while, if you want to tone or shape a muscle, great. But while you're losing weight, we want to keep the chemistry flow going. And inflammation does not keep fat burning going very long. And oftentimes, cardio exercise and lifting weights creates too many stress hormones. So you do need to eat real food. You have to eat, so you have to eat real food. And we're going to teach you which foods to eat. Now, it's important that you focus on the process too of your healthy lifestyle rather than just the result. So we're going to have to better our success in every area of our lives in order to have an ideal healthy body. So let's actually now talk about what the Ideal Body monthly subscription is. First of all, it's a monthly cost of $19.95. You're going to receive daily support. You're going to receive daily inspiration in form of emails and texts or messenger messages. You're going to have access to all of my courses on video. And you're going to learn how to lose anxiety and lose stress and completely eliminate depression. And you will have unlimited email access. You're going to learn how to do the 5 daily habits. You're going to learn the Dragosta microstep method. This is one of the key components in completely eliminating stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. You're going to learn how to control your hormones so that your body can actually process that body fat without the hormones blocking your attempts. We're going to get the chemistry just right. You're going to learn the law of attraction in every area of your life, because you need that in order to not just get an ideal healthy body, but to live an ideal healthy life. So you're going to have ongoing support in groups, and you're going to have one-on-one if you need it. And you will have the option to have personal one-on-one coaching. Now, if you've enjoyed the information in this video, I would ask that you like it and share it. And please go to my YouTube page and subscribe to the YouTube page, which is the Jamey Dragosta channel. And also, if you would like to join the Ideal Body monthly subscription and start your journey as early as today to lose weight and to learn how to take control of your life, click on this link below. And it is http://bit.ly/ideal body image. Now you can type that into your browser or click on the link to get immediate access. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at jamey@jameydragosta.com. And what we would like to be able to do is offer you the invitation to come and join our family to get an ideal body and to follow the Ideal Body monthly subscription, where on a daily basis you can learn to take control of your life. All right, everyone, I appreciate the time that you have taken to watch this video, and I look forward to helping you get your ideal body.